Imagine, if you will, a scenario. One where it is 2:04 a.m. and you're browsing YouTube alone in the dark. No lights, no sound outside your headphones, and the occasional tap of your foot against the floorboards. You're sleepy, but decide to drag yourself through one more video. Just about to click on the latest Optimus video, and then you see the screen on your phone light up with a notification. You decide to ignore it, hoping, not to strike up a conversation with a friend so late just to fall asleep on them and risk upsetting them. You look back up at that bright screen and click on the trending tab. The first video you see, movie trailer. The second, a new music video. The third, a vibrant and colorful image of the Hulk in a Play-Doh mold with a hand torn by a shard of glass, causing Play-Doh blood to spill everywhere, catches your attention. Your breathing intensifies, as does your heartbeat. You know you don't want to click, but you feel almost as if you're possessed as your mouse scrolls and taps on that video. Up comes the most vile content you have ever seen in your life. You see images that are intended for children to watch, yet you would not show to those people who have the most solid stomachs. You, of course, not having one, lean to your right and vomit and look back at the screen. You are no longer sleepy. You feel a sharp pain in your skull and you hear a ringing sound that is much more intense than any other sound you've ever heard in your life. You look down at your hand, which is now impaled by a shard of glass, and you see that you're bleeding intensively. You feel weak. The last thing you see before your head hits the floor is that Play-Doh Hulk that you knew you could not resist. Thank your lucky stars that this is only a scenario. Toy channels on YouTube are absolutely abysmal. I mean, I don't even need to tell you guys for you to know this, but it's true. I mean, if you're unaware, you might think that a toy channel here on YouTube is maybe just a few kids playing with Legos or the newest dolls and action figures, but when you look at the most prominent examples, you'd be hard-pressed to find what you're looking for. The creepy phenomena around these channels is just exactly how popular they are and how popular parents have allowed them to become. I can't honestly tell you that if I walked into my kid's room in the future and saw a video like Hulk exploding Pepsi with Mentos, bad baby superhero stop-motion Play-Doh videos, that I'd be too happy. I mean, just take a look at this. It doesn't even resemble the Hulk. What, you couldn't be fucked to take a toothpick and carve some damn muscle definition into him? You couldn't make some realistic hair? I mean, for God's sake, man. Why does Spider-Man have white cream all over his face like that? Why does the producer? What is the big deal with the white glazed faces? Why is Spider-Man literally dead after falling on the ground and his brain coming out of his head? So parents won't let their kids watch SpongeBob and Patrick raise a little clam together because SpongeBob does a little bit of things that are suspecting of being gay. But they're more than happy to let their kids watch Spider-Man literally rock his own dome and split his wig. Hints that SpongeBob's a little bit gay? That's a no-no. Dead Spider-Man after a fall, including blood and bodily organs being torn from the back of his head with Play-Doh, please let my kids watch. And that's not even the worst of it. They constantly shoot the Hulk up with all kinds of serums that send him on enraged, drug-induced tirades where he destroys all kinds of things. They even turn him into a zombie, for Pete's sake. So now, let's take a look at the cult classic, Hulk drinks from a toilet, superheroes in real-life animated movies in Play-Doh.
Alright guys,
Hulk is super buff. Why doesn't the sink have any water left, yet the toilet is basically a pool of hydration? If there's no water to one, wouldn't you think there wouldn't be any water to the other? Why does Batman allow Hulk to eat a fly in his cake, which leads to Hulk having to take a McDinky that hasn't even shown any signs of children entertainment? Why is Hulk about to take a needle to the rectum in a children's show? Yet parents will freak out whenever Nickelodeon shows just a tad too much of SpongeBob's thickness. How did this get over 100 million views? From the unhealthy obsession with needles and drugging up the Hulk, the odd storylines that usually involve Batman being an absolute prick, the often grotesque images of characters injured, the gross McDookies of Hulk, to the near 20 minutes that these videos are averaging, this is just absurd. Honestly, this should be against the law or something. However, this is only one small piece of the unprecedented Playhouse puzzle here. Only some of the people in this genre are making Play-Doh Hulk drinking from toilet videos. There are other forms of toy channels that are targeting your children every day. The next one we'll be covering is the giant surprise eggs. Basically, they take a bunch of toys that are possibly placed sponsors and they put them in these big break-apart eggs, right? And then they cover the egg in Play-Doh and dig all of that Play-Doh back off so they can then pull the toys out on camera. This is the kind of content you need to make on YouTube to succeed. It's proven because these channels are getting millions of subscribers each and tens of millions of views per video on most of them. As a matter of fact, I considered at one point transitioning my entire channel into a toy surprise egg channel, so today I thought we'd delve ourselves into the world of surprise eggs.
Alright guys, we're going to be doing our surprise egg today. I'm so excited.
I wonder what's going to be inside. This egg's so cool. Wow, look at that. All right, guys, time to open up the egg. Yay, it finally opened. We have YouTube ad revenue. $1, $2, $3, $4. How many more till I hit the floor? Let's see what's inside. We have one more thing inside the surprise egg. Let's see what it is. Wow, look at this, guys. We have genital warts. I'm so excited. Well, guys, I'd say this was a pretty successful Kinder Egg opening here. We have YouTube ad revenue. We have busted apart off-brand Gusher fruit snacks. And we have genital warts. Tune in next time to see the same fucking thing with very little differences. As you can see, it's quality content. I mean, I think I might have to stop doing these rants in order to go ahead and launch my illustrious career. But folks, what if I told you that there is an ulterior motive here? What if I told you that we're not sticking needles in Hulk for drug-induced children's comedy content for any reason you may suspect? What if I told you there was a conspiracy? Well, you wouldn't believe me. I mean, I wouldn't have believed me either if I were you, but once we get through all of this evidence, you'll understand the real truth. Throughout human history, the most intelligent members of human society have always sought a higher truth, one that goes beyond what the sheep will believe. Politics, sports, history, and more have all been forever changed with conspiracy theories. Most make fun of us, but they don't understand our true power. When we unite, nobody can stand in our way. So what were we supposed to do when we saw that these toy channels are popping up overnight and getting tens of millions of views? I mean, would you believe that we would find the truth? Because we did. And truthfully, YouTube just isn't ready for it. I'd like to call into question our first piece of evidence: YouTube's search algorithm. The main driving force behind this algorithm is watch time. The more watch time and minutes you're receiving, the more likely you are to have your videos recommended and boosted in the search rankings, and in turn, the most likely you are to gain a huge following and views. When we look at the search results for Surprise Egg, you will see that most of the videos are about 13 minutes or longer and have amassed millions of views. If we say that all of these videos had 5 million views apiece, and you multiply that by 6.5 minutes, which would be a 50% viewership ratio for a 13-minute long video, you're coming out with 32,500,000 watch minutes on each of these videos. Not bad, right? Try getting 32.5 million watch minutes per day, since they mostly do daily uploads, and you're talking hundreds of millions of watch minutes. I mean, that kind of influence on the search rankings is bad news. It means that unless the algorithm gets entirely reworked, toy channels like this are going to keep gaining more traction and getting more views, and that's just the unfortunate math and science of YouTube. It's not going away anytime soon, and even if YouTube's algorithms got redesigned, who is to say that they wouldn't somehow jump ship and begin gaining traction through that algorithm? Second piece of evidence: ad revenue. It plays closely to our first point, right? I mean, obviously, more views equals more ad revenue. Longer videos equals more ad revenue as well, because you can put in mid-rolls after 10 minutes. So is that the reason that these channels are making 20-minute videos? I mean, if you look at the science behind it, it's obvious that their audience isn't going to spend 10 plus minutes watching these videos, because children have very short attention spans, and it is believed that children spend maybe about 2 minutes or less on a video. Clearly, that doesn't even sometimes account for 10% of a video, which would usually lead to abysmal watch time. But when you're getting to the top through the algorithm and getting millions of views and millions of watch minutes, this doesn't become a factor. Their income isn't affected by this because their longer content is boosting its way through the algorithm, and due to this, it's assumed that we can rule this out as the factor leading to the content being so long. Before we go ahead with our third piece of evidence here, let's go ahead and recap our motives for the longer content. Right now we have two motives: manipulation of the algorithm, which is our current front-running theory. Then we've got one that we've currently ruled out, which is ad revenue. Once again, this is ruled out due to the short attention spans of children, likely not mattering much for these longer videos that would carry mid-rolls. Third piece of evidence, which heavily ties into our ruled out motive: lack of demonetization of this content. Kid-friendly content is virtually impossible to demonetize. I mean, It usually contains nothing offensive, vulgar, or against the terms of service. And ever since the adpocalypse has started, it is definitely fair to say that toy channels in general have become more of an issue on YouTube. Not like they weren't before, but now we're talking full-scale website-changing issues. Many top creators have already made videos about it, and some actually even switched to making content like Spider-Man and Elsa. Yuck. Anyways, due to this content being so hard to actually get demonetized, it's a fair point to make that the genre is still exploding due to so many new creators coming into the scene, and this content still performing excellently in the algorithm. So we know the reason that toy channels are so popular: high volume of kid viewers and the videos performing stellar in the algorithms. However, we may have just cracked our case on our conspiracy. What do these channels knowingly do that makes them explode, even if they realize that this kind of content is not really respected here on YouTube? I'd say mix 1 part ad revenue with 2 cups of impossible to demonetize, and add your result to a full bowl of YouTube algorithms, and you have your answer. It not only pays the bills for these people, some of them are creeps, but it also brings them high amounts of traffic and fame. So I would say this conspiracy is true. We all know the truth now, including the masses. Hopefully the sheep will wake up one day and realize that their world is not what they believed. However, this doesn't excuse some of the blatant issues with the content. I mean, why are needles so prevalent in children's content, and why are we drugging up Hulk so he can destroy a Lamborghini in a can of Coca-Cola? Why are we showing Spider-Man busting his brain out on the ground in a pool of Play-Doh blood? Why does Hulk always need to take a McDookie? Why do they refuse to make better content? The world may never know, unfortunately. It's hard to ignore these truths when you're a full-blown conspiracy theorist like I am, but it appears that millions of children and their families do it on a regular basis. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear that we'll be spared of the toy channel community in the time coming, but we should always hope for an optimistic future regardless. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like on today's video, subscribe if you're new, share this video, and join me on Discord. Until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, signing out.